Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Toon Review ahead of the Newcastle United Manchester United preview. The game, of course, takes place tomorrow night at Old Trafford, which is very old. Matchday Live will be with you from 7:30 tomorrow night with myself and Billy Bob commentating on the game. Of course, Stato will be back in due course this week. I think it's his final day of his holiday today, so we wish him safe journeys home, and no doubt coming back refreshed and ready to dive into those stats yet again. But please do give the show a thumbs up if you enjoyed tonight's show, and of course, if you're new, please do subscribe. Free to do so, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to let you know when we upload or we schedule live shows. You can become a member of the Toon Review, of course, by hitting the join button just underneath the three of us. And, Jimmy Barr's just gifted 5 Toon Review memberships, so thank you very much for that, Jimmy. So if you're lucky enough to get one of them, well done. And, of course, you can donate to the channel if you do so wish tonight by hitting that $ just underneath the live chat, and that will take you through to a payment method, which will, of course, get your comment read live on the show. Just checking my frequency there. It's fine. Sean McEwen, thank you for being a member for 10 months. Evening, guys, and Lady Sam, can't wait for another amazing show. We will do our best, very much so. Of course, we will. Of course, Eddie Howe did speak to the media ahead of the game. I did the live show at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Then went and done a recording. Well, I've been a busy boy today. I've been a very busy boy. Anything you guys particularly took from the press conference? Anything that really excited you?
Not really. It was the kind of archetypal Eddie Howe press conference, wasn't it? I mean, he didn't really give a lot away. He kind of mentioned Callum Wilson potentially not being ready again. But, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he rocked up on a day with Callum Wilson on the side, if I'm perfectly honest. He also kind of bigged up Nick Pope a little bit more than what he did at the weekend.
Yeah, that's the thing I picked up. Is the bigging up of Nick Pope, yeah.
Will he pick Nick Pope tomorrow? Do you remember last summer when he had his wrist operation and he was kind of a bit weak the first 2 or 3 weeks of the season? I'm not sure if he'll pick Pope. I hope he does.
I think you're playing Nick Pope. I really do. By the way, I've just the Toon Review has just gifted 5 memberships as well. So there you go. See if you're lucky enough to get one. Alexandra Allard, thank you for your super chat. Done my homework. Ready to talk injuries. 2-1 win, says Alexander. Very, very good. Look, the Callum Wilson situation for me, I think he was being honest about Callum. He hasn't seen him at all in training, etc. I'm on the fence with this, and I said this in the show earlier on today, Sam, that I'm on the fence with Callum Wilson at the minute because given how important the games are, a lot of fans are saying, get up, take some paracetamol and, work through it, be this kind of tough man. Some are saying, they think that Callum Wilson is done for Newcastle United. He's been told that he's not going away with England, and he's just down tools now, and he's unwell, so he's not going to put himself through the meat and veg of 2 very serious games. I mean, where do you lie with Callum Wilson?
Yeah, I think reading between the lines and my personal opinion based on some of the communications that we've seen is his heart really still at the club now? I'm not too sure. I think he would have probably preferred to go in the January transfer window. Didn't get that opportunity. At the same time, we see conflicting reports that his partner had started a business up here in the northeast, so it's a bit of an interesting one. We don't know the severity of his sickness, whatever happens to be wrong with him. So I don't think we can easily just say, take a couple of ibuprofen, Callum. Get yourself on there. You'll be absolutely fine. If he's deemed not well enough, then he's not. Then again, you've got players like Longstaff, who we've slammed during the season for his lackluster performance, only to find out he's been playing on a practically broken ankle. For me, if he's got the sniffles, get the bloody shirt on and get out and play your socks off. but that's me. That's my club.
Well. Listen, on the Sean Longstaff situation. By the way, Call Me Swift, who's been a member for 6 months now, says, "I do not fear Man United anymore. Let's go smash these bar stools tomorrow and get ourselves some European football. How are the lads?" Absolutely. But this comment from Colin, Billy, thought Eddie's comments about Sean Longstaff were not good. He didn't know if he was still having injections. Yeah. Now I did bring this up on the show, Billy, because I was a very at this one when he was asked about Sean. He was asked about if he's still continuing to have the injections, if he's still suffering from the injury, and Eddie just turned around and said, "I don't know." He said he doesn't know everything that goes on in the medical department. Now, is this not just really slamming for Newcastle United fans what's been the bloody problem all season?
Well, I think we already knew this, because every time he walked into a press conference asked about injuries and how long players will be out for, he never knows, does he? So I'm not surprised there's no kind of communication between Eddie Howe and the medical staff. However, if there's a player in the side who's playing under medical supervision with injections and stuff, I expect the managers should know about that. And I'm surprised Eddie Howe doesn't know about it. And if he doesn't know about it, then he should know about it. And I don't know whether that's the medical staff's fault, Eddie Howe's fault, or a mixture of both. But he should know everything what's right and what's wrong with every player that he plays in that team of every time Newcastle United go out to play. And if he doesn't, there's something wrong. Whether that's down to Eddie Howe, I'd say it is. I'd want to know about every single player, and I'd be asking the medical staff about every single one of those players, whether they're in the side, on the bench, or not in the side. I'd want a weekly, daily report on each one of those players if I was a manager of any football club. I'm surprised Eddie Howe hasn't. Unless he was lying, of course.
Billy Bob in for manager, eh?
Well, this is the point I made earlier, Sam, is exactly what Billy's saying there. If you're manager of a football club, surely you want to know how your players are medically. You look at the likes of, this is what we've been saying when we've seen Joe Linton and Murphy, etc., coming back too soon this season. And then we see, we hear Eddie making comments like that, saying that he doesn't know if Sean's still getting injections. You'd have to ask Sean. I mean... Yeah. A manager should know every single player, whether they're fit or not, or whether they're getting injections to get them on the pitch. Surely the manager has to know that information.
Indeed, and I don't disagree with that, but playing a bit of a devil's advocate here, is it that Eddie feels like this is, as we all know, absolute must win? This is pride on the line at this stage and the European place. Is it just that Longstaff's injections have become white noise because he's had to have them for so long that it's probably become deprioritized in his things to think about in Eddie's universe list? Just a suggestion, but it could be that it's lower down on his priority list.
Indeed. Mark, welcome. First time here, he says. Welcome, Mark. Seam says Isak not starting tomorrow. I think Isak will start tomorrow. Don't you worry about that. I think Eddie, being Eddie, of course, not going to give anything away, especially to Manchester United, by the way. Let's be honest here. So I think that he will be playing tomorrow. He may not be 100%, but listen, I think if he's had a virus, he's had a few days off to recover, I think he'll be fine. I really genuinely think he'll be fine. So I wouldn't worry about Isak playing tomorrow. Obviously, we'll do our team predictions a bit later on, because I think there will be changes tomorrow. And Eddie did kind of point to that in his press conference, Bill, that he will be making some sort of changes. He's got some tough decisions to make. But if we look at what we talked about just at the start of the show there with the Nick Pope one, that for me was the most he's talked about Nick Pope since he's been fit again in a press conference. That's the most we've heard about Nick Pope. So I genuinely think Pope is starting tomorrow.
Well, I've hoped so. For the last kind of 2 or 3 games he's been on the bench, we think he's fit enough to play. And in reality, he should be. He's had 2 or 3 weeks of training now. Obviously, he's been diving around on that shoulder. Maybe he's had no real effects from it, and maybe he can play tomorrow. I hope he's playing tomorrow, because I think we'll need Nick Pope tomorrow, because one thing Manchester United are, they're not great at build-up, but they're very good at the long ball and counter-attacking stuff. You need your goalkeeper to be alert and ready to pounce out the area to make clearances. Martin Dubravka just doesn't do that, does he? So we're going to need Nick Pope tomorrow.
Sam, where do you stand on the goalkeeper? Because, we've said many, many times that we hope and pray that Nick Pope comes back into the side because he's way better than Dubravka. And each time Eddie has overruled us, as he does because he's the manager. However, tomorrow's such a big game. And like Billy said there, they do play balls through the middle, out wide and through over the top. And we need a goalkeeper who's going to come out and sweep up that situation. And Nick Pope is the ideal goalkeeper for that.
Yeah, and for me, we need sharpness, we need decisiveness, and that sweeper keeper to really keep us defensively sound and give that back line up some confidence. That's what Pope does. You can see our defensive line change as soon as we have Pope in. That confidence really got shot of shit with Dubs, unfortunately. So I would be thrilled to have him back for the Manchester game. If it was me, I would have loved to have gotten him a run out for last weekend, but unfortunately that didn't happen. I really would like to think that this isn't misplaced Eddie Howe loyalty coming through. He's been accused of it before in the past. I don't want to see a monumental, stuff up from Dubs just to get him out of the side and, given a sort of attack of consciousness that, Pope can now come back in after his mistake. No, you're a manager. You have to do the right thing for the club, for the badge. Pope needs to go in this weekend. Sorry, tomorrow, no doubt.
Well, of course, you've got the Dubravka links from Manchester United earlier on in the season. A lot of fans have been worried about that as well, saying, his loyalties aren't where they should be, 100%, shall we say, given the social media posts when he was, of course, on loan at Manchester United. But we'll see what happens. Tucky, thank you for your super chat. Anthony Tuck, good evening, Paul, Billy, and lovely lady. And hope you win against Man United tomorrow from Tucky. Thanks very much, matey. I would need to be totally off my legs before I would not put that black and white strip on every single time I was picked to play for them. Yeah, that's a thing, isn't it? It really is. Stuart says a manager as intelligent as Howe will be aware of everything in exhaustively perfect detail. He is probably just playing dumb not to give anything away.
Hopefully.
And to be fair, Billy, we've seen him do that this season many times.
Course, yeah. That's why I said I wouldn't be surprised if Callum Wilson locks up.
Well, yeah, but I think genuinely he's been honest about Wilson, Billy. I think he is missing. But he did say he should be available for Brentford. So, look, if Wilson is going to be taking part tomorrow, then I can only see that being from the bench. I can't see him going back to the 4-4-2 formation.
If he's fit, I think he will. If I'm perfectly honest.
You think he'll start him?
If he's fit, if he's kind of, I think if he's not ill anymore, I think the 4-4-2 that we, 4-4-2, 3-5-2 kind of formation we played at Burnley, will be ideal for Manchester United and get two strikers on there too. Whoever's playing, if Martinez after a 3 or 4 month break, or Casemiro if he's got to play there, or Evans, 2 against them, I think they'll win riot. I really do. So I think if Callum Wilson's anywhere near fit, I think he has to play.
Do you agree with that, Sam? You're nodding your head?
Yeah, absolutely. That's probably the lineup that I would prefer to see. I think you're right. We need to be careful of a counter-attack. We need to be careful of those long balls coming in. And I think just that formation would nail it, getting 2 strikers on 100%.
Well, Thomas says them injections have been a load of bullshit, an excuse for his poor performance. I thought that when it was said. Interesting. I don't know. I can't accuse anybody of basically lying. That's not. I don't think that. I think he did.
We picked up on the injury way before anyone else announced it, didn't we?
Well, you did, Billy. You did before. You were paying close attention to Longstaff, and every time that the ball hit his ankle, it didn't even have to be tackled. He went down injured. So it was.
I spotted it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was just a hard pass, wasn't it? And it just hit his ankle, and he went down, and you could see he was in pain. So I do genuinely think he's had injections. I do. I don't think Eddie would lie about that. I don't think Sean would lie about that, to be honest. But listen, Sean's been better the last 2 games. We're saying about him being injured, but he has improved dramatically the last 2 games. And I expect him to play against Manchester United tomorrow. If Joe Linton comes back in, I suspect it'll be Elliot Anderson, the one that we take out the side. Dan Robinson, thank you for your super chat. How is a cagey manager? Says as little as possible, probably to give nothing away. As much as it frustrates us, it will frustrate the other team more. Indeed, but I think Ten Hag was playing games as well in his press conference, by the way, because he also mentioned that Leandro Martinez could be back for them tomorrow. I think that's a huge risk given the amount of time he's been out injured. Him coming straight back into the side, he's going to be a little touch and go and rusty. So bring him back for all I care. And he also mentioned the likes of Bruno Fernandes possibly being fit as well. Now, given that he said at the weekend that there was no chance he'd be fit, I don't know. So both managers are playing games, but this is what happens in the Premier League. Managers play games with each other because they don't want to give their lineups and tactics away.
Yeah, I wouldn't question Eddie's integrity. I think all of the interviews, all of the press and media that I've personally seen, I do believe that he's a person of integrity. So I don't think there's been any sort of cloak and dagger about the injections per se. We know that he likes to keep the cards close to the chest because we don't want to give any of those tactics away. It's shrewd. He's got a great poker face from it. So yeah, let's see what happens.
Yeah, and Billy, I mean, we have to be. You know, we could talk about Callum Wilson and say, yeah, maybe Callum Wilson, it's a bit of to and fro with him. But I think with the likes of Sean Longstaff, I think he's been openly honest about it. Because why would he say that he doesn't know if he's still getting the injections? Because that makes him seem, you know, it's a bit of a strange one, that.
Yeah, it's not making him look good, is it, in any shape, way, or form? If that's real. As for Ten Hag, I think he needs to get minutes in the legs of Fernandes, Martinez. Because I think they've kind of given up on the league, if I'm perfectly honest. I think the FA Cup final was what he's kind of aiming for. And he can't send Martinez, for Bruno Fernandes, and them kind of players, Rashford's another one, into the FA Cup final with no minutes in the leg. So I wouldn't be surprised to see one or two of them playing tomorrow, I'll be honest. Maybe off the bench as a sub, maybe, but they'll certainly play on some part, I would say, tomorrow, and maybe on Sunday, 4 games. I don't really care about them, to be honest, though.
Well, absolutely. Right, we've got a poll up, ladies and gentlemen. Who would you start in? Listen, it's worked fine. Who would you start in goal tomorrow, Dubravka or Pope? Let's see what everybody thinks of that one. We'll revisit that shortly, and see what you guys think. Alexander says, being fit to play and ready to play is 2 different things. Mentally, he has to be right. I think Pope is mentally right. I think he's been back in training long enough now, and given the fact that he's had a lot of experience, listen, if he was a new goalkeeper or he's a young goalkeeper, I could understand the fact that maybe, you know, he's not quite in the right headspace. But come on, this is Nick Pope. I think he should play tomorrow without a shadow of a doubt. Jed, thank you very much for that comment. 3 times over as well. Thank you. Kendo says, hope the ref keeps an open play and looks the other way for J7's beefy challenges.
Yes.
Well, I mean, listen, again, I'm not going to big up any referees or talk about referees because they're all shit. So there's no point.
Who is the ref, Paul? Who would you any idea who the ref is?
Oh, God, let's have a look. Oh, God.
It's not Anthony Taylor by any chance, is it? Generally, it's when they're playing.
Oh God!
Do you know what I have to say? The ref for Brighton, like being actually at the game and seeing that was appalling. Absolutely, there should be an investigation into that because he was just deplorable, awful.
I'm trying to. Oh God! Oh no, that was last season. I can't actually see. I've just
had permission saying Jared Gillett. So.
Oh God. Oh well, that's ruined my night. Then there you go. Jesus, I mean, he is abysmal.
Mr. Hampton saying Robert Jones. That's 2 different referees we've had.
Right. Well, obviously there is a little bit of discrepancy here as to who is actually the bloody referee for tomorrow.
So 2 in for Rob Jones. That's do we have a poll? Who the referee's going to be tomorrow?
No. I think it might be Rob Jones. I think Jared Gillett is VAR. I'm sure I read something earlier in the week that he's VAR. Dan Robinson, thank you for another super chat. It's the same ref as the last 2 times we beat them.
Oh, that's
which I think is Rob Jones.
Good omen. We'll say that.
Oh, don't mention omens. The omen.
My dad made me watch that as a child. Like my mum nearly took me to the emergency room on an evening. I was shaking in shock. It was awful. Thanks, Dad, if you're watching. I remember that.
Ian, big shout out. should have been taken to child services, but never mind.
Top parenting.
Absolutely. I mean, that is just incredible parenting. Norvik says, hi, Paul, Billy and Lady Sam. Busy cooking tea, so in and out. Busy listening. Anthony says, the Man United side will be worse than the one we demolished in the League Cup. If we are on form, no reason we don't get a win. Yes.
I don't agree with that because Hannibal ain't playing.
Well, Hannibal's not playing, no. But Ahmad is, and Ahmad is a good little player. He may cause some problems. Now, this is the thing. Kieran Trippier. Yes, exactly. This is the thing. Right? Newcastle United have a player in Kieran Trippier, right, who is expected to come back. Now, Kieran Trippier has said in an interview yesterday that he's 100% fit and ready to go, okay? What does Eddie do? Does he bring him back? And Kieran Trippier also stated that right back or left back, he does not care where he plays. So does he come back as a right back or a left back? Because I think Kieran Trippier starts tomorrow. Who's it for? Lewis Hall or Livramento? Sam, I'll let you try and answer that one first.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you know what? I thought Hall put in a fantastic performance at the weekend. Equally so, Tino has moments of brilliance as well. I think we're probably in a very fortunate position, but I would probably put him on the right for me.
Interesting. And you'd move Tino left, or would you keep Lewis Hall in?
No, I would keep Hall in.
Interesting. Ian Fleming, thank you for your super chat, my man. Good to see you back, Lady Sam. TTR, hope you had a nice break.
I was working. What have you been telling people? I was at work in Canada.
Yes, Sam. All those really lovely looking breakfasts and meals and little photos on top of the Toronto Tower and, your little awards in front of you on a table full of booze. Look.
That was breakfast, not booze.
Whatever. Billy, what do you reckon? Because I think it's a big call for Eddie tomorrow.
I would be picking him in the starting line at full stop, if I'm perfectly honest.
You would leave him out?
I would leave him out, yeah. I'd stick with Livramento and Hall. They've done nothing wrong. They've played really well. Don't deserve to be dropped. I have the feeling if he comes back, it'll be at left back, though. And I think that's a terrible decision. Because Lewis Hall did fantastic at Old Trafford when he wasn't supposed to be playing well. So I think they'll be kind of wary of Lewis Hall.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried if Kieran Trippier comes in at left back going against Ahmad, because Ahmad's a bag of tricks. Kieran Trippier will be rusty. He's been out a long time.
Yeah,
and to throw him straight into this kind of game, I think is a massive, massive risk. I'm with you, Billy. I wouldn't play him. I would keep him on the bench tomorrow, but I do generally think Trippier is going to start. But I would keep him on the bench. I don't see any reason why Livramento or Lewis Hall deserve to be dropped. I know Tino wasn't at his best on Saturday, but let's be honest, he very rarely has an off day. But when he does have an off day, he comes back superb the next. And let's not forget how well he played in the Carabao Cup at Old Trafford.
Absolutely.
That run he went on in the first half of Miggy's goal was sensational. And that's what he's capable of. It's a big pitch at Old Trafford. He can get running. He can get the motor going. And Man United, I think, will be more afraid of Livramento than Kieran Trippier right now. That's nothing against Kieran Trippier, but these two have done nothing at all to deserve to be dropped. And I think it'd be a real shame. However, midfield is where I think the change is going to be made. I think J7 plays Sam. And I can only see it being Anderson that gets put onto the bench.
Yeah, absolutely. And in fairness, I thought Anderson was great at the weekend. He was incredibly mobile. He was putting the tackles in as well, which was great to see. He's fantastic on and off the ball and has great press. So what is not to love about the performance? I think against this Manchester United side, I want to see our juggernaut in midfield, some shithousery, putting the tackles in. He intimidates players, and I think that's what we need to see. Just quickly back to the sort of Livramento sort of comment. I think he will get game time tomorrow, but I think knowing Eddie, we're definitely going to see Tripp starting.
Yeah, I mean, knowing Eddie, that's the big thing. I mean, obviously, Eddie Howe is a big fan of Kieran Trippier, and I think look, Kieran Trippier, if he starts, then I don't mind because he's quality, right? But at the same time, he's been out a long time. And, you know, he won't be up to pace straight away. I highly doubt he'll be up to pace straight away. You know, we're talking about Leandro Martinez coming back. You know, it's the same situation with Kieran Trippier. You know, I mean, Garnacho, if he goes right back, I'd worry about that because Garnacho's got a lot of pace and a lot of trickery. And I think Tino Livramento is probably the better one to go up against Garnacho than Kieran Trippier is at the moment because of Kieran Trippier being out for so long, Billy.
Yeah. I'd have no worries at all if Trippier was playing against him after playing for the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
But to come straight back in and into a colder atmosphere, that won't bother him. But the fact to get a nippy, quick winger with tricks who cuts inside, yeah, I'd be worried. I've got to be honest. I think Livramento's more solid as a defender. I think Trippier offers us more in attack, but I think Livramento certainly defensively is probably better than Trippier at the minute. Absolutely.
Alex says, will there be a TTR Friday this week as you can do the Brentford preview on Saturday as the match is on Sunday? Well, Alex, what I will say to you is, do we not get a chance to have a day off, mate? We'll have been on Monday to Friday, and then you're asking us to do Saturday when we'll be doing Match Day Live on Sunday as well. So come on, mate, give us a little bit of a leeway here to have a night off. It's a Saturday at the end of the day, so time will be spent with family. Thank you very much. But I do appreciate you trying to get us to do more. Hello, Paul, Billy and Sam, says Clive. I have heard rumours that Eddie fancies Aaron Ramsdale in goal for us. I like this shout. Pope number 1, either or Carl Darlow or Tim Krul. Both would be cheap. Both played in the Premier League. I mean, bringing Darlow or Krul back, it's not going to happen because Gillespie signed an extension. So anyway, whoever's going to come in, it'll be Pope and and other to battle for number 1. But I really like the idea of James Trafford, a youngster coming in, working with Nick Pope for a while and then taking the number 1 jersey. I think it makes sense. Sophia says, I really think we will beat them tomorrow and score at least 2. Yes. Seacrest Boxer says, Alice is now saying Man United are hijacking Tosin from us. God, I hate that club. Look, there's rumours that Tosin's already agreed to come to Newcastle. There's rumours that Manchester United are going to step in. But listen, if you're Tosin right now, that really doesn't sound right. But I mean, we're gonna have to look for a new name for him, aren't we? If he signs for us,
Tosin. Call him Tosin.
Tosin.
Yes. If Tosin is asked right now who he wants to go to, where is the better option, do you think? Because I don't think Manchester United are the bigger pulling power anymore. I genuinely don't. I don't think they're up there to have the same pulling power they used to have.
They're offering a free canoe, though, for everybody who signs with them. Deal with any rain.
Yeah. But seriously, Sam, there is no real... I mean, what is the
they've had a fall from grace. They've been dining out on Fergie history years for far too long. Like, you know, sorry, I can't hear you from up there from your high horse that you continue to sit on. Get down a step or two. We need to just give them full force. Love that. Bring it.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel most NUFC have little confidence in the boys, thinking we may draw or just manage to beat them. I'm confident we'll embarrass them. I would love that. I would love to go to Old Trafford and stuff them 4 or 5 tomorrow. That would just... I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine the uproar? And of course, you know, all the pundits will say how badly Manchester United played if we did beat them that many. It would be all Manchester United have got injuries, Manchester United this, Manchester United that. Well, I tell you what, stick a bolt of dynamite up Eric Ten Hag's baldy ass and let it explode, right? Because Newcastle, if we win tomorrow, we will win on merit, no matter what the stupid pundits come out with tomorrow. Listen, watch the game on telly and listen to our commentary. That's the best way to do it. And then you don't get the bullshit, biased load of garbage that you get on the TV with the commentary against Newcastle United. Okay, me and Billy are always honest, and yeah, we're Newcastle fans, but we say it how we see it. You know, we are, you know, we'll call what we see on the pitch, not like these idiots. So
I mean, it's hard when it's Man United though to be any.
Oh, it's very hard, Billy. It's very hard. Yes.
But
However,
the professionals above me, of course.
absolutely. So,
Can I tell you what? Something else I'm excited for.
Yeah.
Flying in the face of all the controversy about Dan Ashworth and all that. Like, this is just in Ratcliffe's comments at the marathon. Oh, that win tomorrow. I'm manifesting it right now. It's just going to be so sweet. And do you know what? Bring on the garbage afterwards as well, because we can just sit back on a lounger and sip cocktails, beating you and getting Europe. Love that.
Yes, absolutely. Non-alcoholic cocktails are also available. We've got Alan Breadmore's been a member for 4 months. And Alan says, hi, Paul, Billy and Sam. Love the show. Best Newcastle channel. Thank you very much. Super chat from Kieran. Why would Torsen play at Man United with a stadium that is falling apart? No wonder Bruno Fernandes might leave. Well, I mean, if you believe the rumours, Fernandes wants out, Billy.
Yeah, by all accounts. I mean, I think his contract ends 26, so he's only got another year on top of this one next season. Will they try and cash in? Well, I won't be surprised. He's not won anything while he's been there, has he? He may have won one cup. I'm not sure.
Yeah, they beat us.
Of course, they did. Try to forget all that.
Yeah.
He's been their best player for 3 years, and we all hate him because he's a diving, whinging knob jockey. But he's a good player.
Are you trying to hint that you would bring him to Newcastle, Billy?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
I need to push him in the time.
Davey says, I think Torsen is a terrific kid playing in a really good team like ours. He would shine. Yes, absolutely. Mike says, yes, Paul, you and the rest of the TTR family definitely need a bit of family time. We 100% appreciate everything you and the family do for us. Thank you. Dan says, why would players care about the state of the stadium? That's not what I'm saying about Manchester United. I'm saying, what is the pulling power of Manchester United right now? Tell me what, if you were offered the chance to come to Newcastle or Man United, why would you go to Manchester United right now, who are in a complete shit show, a rebuild, yet Newcastle United are heading in the opposite direction? To me, there's just no. That might be a little bit of bias taken over. I don't know, but I wouldn't go. I would see there's a few clubs that I think have better pulling power now than Manchester United, because Manchester United simply don't have that anymore.
The problem with them is the financial issues. I don't think they've got any money. I don't think Jim Ratcliffe has the money at his disposal to kind of splash out lots of wages. He's already paying massive wages for the likes of Rashford, Fernandes. There's 4 or 5 of them over 300k a week. Ridiculous amounts of money.
Yeah.
So if someone else is coming in, it's not going to happen, is it?
I would challenge that comment as well, to say, why would players care about a stadium? The stadium is a representation of the badge, the club, the fans, the history, and who you're actually playing out of your skin for. I really do think the representation of the facilities is important, because that's an extension of what the club is and what the club stands for. I think that's why, as Newcastle fans, we have, such pride at St. James's Park, because of history and heritage.
Absolutely.
Why you're going to want to play at Man United when it's literally fallen down. It looked like Niagara the other night. It's not.
Well, it's not
I
the
said Niagara, not Viagra there, by the way.
Yes.
So,
it's not the theatre of dreams anymore, is it? It just isn't. It can't. It just can't be called that anymore, because the thing I'm saying about Manchester United is that they are not where they used to be. They were the biggest club in the world under Fergie. There was no doubt about that. They were absolutely fantastic. They had some wonderful players. They played some brilliant football. They were untouchable at times. They really were. That era where they went through of competing with Arsenal was brilliant to watch. It's not that anymore. And I think that's the same with the Arsenal fans. The Arsenal fans have had it difficult since difficult psychologically since they fell from grace. They're now coming back again. But it's the same with Manchester United now. Their fans need to realise that they're not what they were. They are still a massive football club, of course they are, but they're not where they were. And I think they've got a lot of rebuilding before they can even take that mantle back again. Right, let's have a look and see who wants who in goal tomorrow. Any suggestions, guys? How many the percentages for Nick Pope?
97.
Sam?
95.
86.
Yeah.
Is that all?
Yep.
That surprises
86,
me.
86 want Nick Pope and 14% want Dubravka.
Hi,
That
Martin
is,
and family. Hope you're well.
yeah, thanks for watching, Martin. Toon Pirate, welcome to membership. Thank you very much for signing up. Much appreciated, my friend. I mean, I'm a little surprised by that, I have to say. Anyway, this is what SofaScore are predicting the two lineups to be tomorrow. So they reckon Newcastle are going to continue with the 4-3-3, but incidentally, they don't have Sean Longstaff playing.
Interesting.
Yeah, they have Joe Linton, Elliot Anderson, and Bruno in the three tomorrow. With the front three, they've got Harvey Barnes coming in as well. So no Murphy. They think we're going to go with Barnes. Obviously, I think it'll be Barnes on the left, Gordon on the right if we did do that. But that is interesting. Dubravka stays in goal.
Yeah. I don't believe any of that, to be honest. I don't believe Sean Longstaff will get dropped. I don't believe that Harvey Barnes will play on that side of the pitch. If he does come in, he'll be on his side and Gordon will go up against Dallow. If that's the case, yeah, I just don't see it. I'd like to see Joe Linton come in, but not necessarily for Sean Longstaff.
Now, interestingly enough, Sam, Manchester United, they have Bruno Fernandes playing and also Casemiro still alongside Johnny Evans when, Ten Hag did mention that Martinez may well be back tomorrow. So, I mean, how much are you taking from that? Because I don't know where they get their possible lineups from, to be honest. I don't know who works these out, but
yeah, a bit of a pinch of salt for me. I'm not taking this too seriously. I think based on our lineup alone, so that would make me throw into doubt what Manchester United's lineup is going to be. I definitely don't think that we would have Barnes out on the right, although it is an option. Yeah, it's a bit of an interesting one what SofaScore's thrown out here.
Well, it's interesting, yeah, but I think it's absolute crap, to be honest. I can't see those being the lineups. I just can't. But incidentally, Man United's the doubtful players who may well start tomorrow. They do have Bruno Fernandes is doubtful. They've got Amad Diallo doubtful, Martinez doubtful, Martial could come back, and Rashford is doubtful as well. Now, I don't think Rashford's going to play a part, but I hope he does because he's been absolute tosh. For us, they've got Callum Wilson doubtful. Obviously, Target, Shea, Willock, Lascelles, and Botman are out. Guys, there's only 7 players on our injury list.
Wow.
I mean, I think that's absolutely fascinating considering how we've gone so far. Really,
they needed the beds back at the hospital. That'll be why.
Yeah.
NHS crisis.
Yeah, NHS crisis. Yeah. Now, Manchester United. If we look at their form throughout, the last 5 games or so, I mean, Manchester United beat the Sheffield United 4-2, Billy. Then they drew with Burnley at Old Trafford. 2 important home games. They were then thumped at Crystal Palace, of course, and then the last time out, they lost to Arsenal. So they're not having it very well at the minute, and they are definitely on a downward spiral.
You watch Manchester United, and you get to watch them quite a lot because I want to tell you every bloody week, aren't they?
Yeah.
And I don't think I've seen them play well. And the only times I've seen them play well is when they've gone into a defensive mode and not bothered about attacking. Hence the Arsenal game where they did that. Liverpool, Man City away when they scored early doors with Rashford's long-range shots when it was just a long-range clearance, really. And they just sat on that and looked okay for it. But they make mistakes left, right, and centre. They've got no real style in what they play in. It's all about the pace on the wings and kick the ball, like Steve Bruce used to do with Maxi. Get the ball to the widths and see if they can do anything from there. Højlund hasn't worked for them. He looks a good player in the making. But he hasn't worked this season for them. He's quick, he's tough, but you've got to give him the ball in the right areas. And I don't think they've done that. And same as last season, I think they're very lucky to be in the position they're in the league. I don't think they were the third best side in the league last season. Nowhere near. No. Most of the results they gained last season were due to luck, refereeing decisions, and VAR. And I think the same through this season, except they've been a little bit not quite as good as last year. I don't see any fear going to Old Trafford whatsoever.
Well, I don't think anybody does now. I don't think Old Trafford. I mean, Eddie was asked this in his press conference as well, Sam, about going to Old Trafford, and does it still hold that fear that it used to hold a few years back? And I think Eddie was very diplomatic in his answer and said it's still a very difficult place to go and play football, but it is a great place to go and play football. So I don't think he's intimidated at all, and I don't think the players should be. It's when you're walking out, against the likes of sort of Beckham and Scholes and Roy Keane and those sort of players of that ilk, you're going to be a little bit intimidated when you walk out at Old Trafford. However, now, you're walking in front of bloody Johnny Evans, who comes out on a both of the Casemiro as well. They're walking out on Zimmer frames, and you've got Onana, who is just I don't know what to make of that goalkeeper, to be honest. It's just not the same, is it?
It's a completely different horizon, and that's what I was referencing earlier. The fall from grace, but we're still hanging on to those, coattails as they do, and riding on that glory. And it really needs to stop and show us some substance in the present, rather than just referring back to what is a respectful history. I think I am confident going into this game, and I think Eddie is quietly respectful, but you can almost see the glint in his eye, like thinking, we have got this. And I think what's really exciting for me is that we have the capabilities to actually have Europe in our grasp here. This is ours to lose. So we're going for it. We're going all out. But at the same time, Eddie's just done the respectful tip of the cap, as he would do, to the side. So bring it.
Can you remember, apart from the Carabao Cup, obviously at Wembley, can you remember, Billy, last time Manchester United beat us in the league?
I think we're going back to Steve Bruce here, weren't we? Was it the 5-2?
It was the 11th of September, 2021.
Was it the Ronaldo game when he got the hat trick, gifted 2 goals?
I believe that was the 4-1. Yes. 4-1.
Mankio scored for us.
Mankio scored for us, yeah. So since then, they've had a rough ride against us in the Premier League. 2 draws later on. We drew with them at home, then we drew with Old Trafford. We beat them at St James's Park in April 23. We then dumped them in the Carabao Cup, and then, of course, we beat them at St James's this season. So we've kind of had a voodoo sign over Manchester United in recent games. So long may that continue, to be honest, guys. I think if that continues, we will be hunky-dory doodle-dashy.
Freddie Woodman, wasn't it? He was awful.
Look, everybody was calling for Freddie Woodman to play as well, remember?
Yeah.
It wasn't great.
It wasn't quite Emi Martinez bad, but it was pretty bad.
I saw that last night, Billy. That was horrendous.
It's hilarious, wasn't
it? You know what? It couldn't happen to a nicer bloke. Couldn't have happened to a nicer bloke. To be honest, he's a little bit of a. Well, he's been a dick to quite a few supporters this season, hasn't he? So he deserves everything he gets, to be honest. Anyway, there's a new poll gone up, guys. How do you see the game going? Win, draw, or lose? That is now pinned at the top of the description, or it should do if it actually bloody works here. Hang on a minute. Why? It's frozen a little bit. Bosh. There you go. So the poll is now up. Win, draw, or lose tomorrow. We'll revisit that one at the end of the show to see how you're all feeling ahead of the game. Peter says Rashford doesn't want to be at Man United anymore, I would say. Last I heard, PSG were interested in Rashford. Oh, let him go. Let him go. Alien says, yes, Pope would need 3 games before I would pick him. He won't be match ready to face Man United. See, I don't agree with this match ready with goalkeepers. I think it's a very, very different situation for goalkeepers than it is for the outfield players, because the goalkeepers, they can get the same sort of sharpness in training that they can during a match. You know, it's very, very different when you're coming out collecting crosses or, coming out sweeping the box. Nick Pope is very experienced at doing that, and I genuinely believe that. I don't think goalkeepers need that 3 games or anything to get going, Billy.
No, I tend to agree. When we brought Dubravka back in, where was his match? He hadn't had 3 matches to kind of get himself acclimatised. Yeah, it's different with goalkeepers. I think Pope would be fine.
What do you reckon, Sam?
I don't care if he's match ready. I want him over Dubs 100%. Bring
And plus,
him
he's got the
back.
incentive of Pope's trying to get in that England squad for the Euros. It's a couple of good games, and I think he'll be in because there's no real outstanding kind of candidates apart from Pickford. Rashford, fellow at Arsenal, can't think of his name. Ramsdale can't get a game. He was in the England squad last time. Sam Johnston doesn't get a game because of Henderson. It's a place ready to go to. I think if he plays the last 2 games, I think he's in the England squad.
Yes, well, Billy, what I will say to you is Gareth Southgate.
Well, he's picked him before, hasn't he? He's not like he's...
Yeah, he's also dropped him as well. Let's not forget that. So I just think he should... I just think, regardless of England, he needs to be there. At 80%, Nick Pope is better than Dubravka. End off.
Yeah, I agree.
Excellent. Yeah, absolutely. He's experienced enough to do it without game time. Let's just get him on.
It's all about the experience. Dan Robinson says, thank you for another super chat. Don't forget, we stuffed them 3-0 with our C team. Yeah, and I believe they had a very strong side out that night as well in the Carabao Cup. Let's not forget. Stuart says that Fergie aura and era is long gone. Only people who don't realise it is Man United fans. Yeah, 100%. PL Rich says, just hope that we get a better start than we have had recently. Well, we started well on Saturday for 10 minutes. I mean, how Sam, do we expect Man United to come flying out at us tomorrow, or would you expect a very cagey first 10, 15 minutes with both sides?
Yeah, I think they're probably going to sit back defensively. I don't think they're going to come screaming out the gates for us. I think we do need to be mindful of any counters with them. I think that's my only sort of hesitation, where we need to be on point in terms of focus and concentration. I think if we're mindful about the damage that they could potentially do to us, I think we're going to fly through it. I really do.
Well, there's been a lot of accusations thrown at the team, Billy, saying that Eddie Howe, or the players for that matter, can't cope with these big games. We seem to just lack what we do when we don't have these big games. I don't subscribe to that at all, because if you look at some of the Champions League games performances in the really big stage, we've done really well. The Carabao Cup final, we were disappointing, but I thought we got better second half and possibly, could have had a couple of goals late on in that game. So it's all a bit of a learning curve, but I expect a much stronger performance tomorrow from the word go. And Eddie did say, somebody asked Eddie a question today about the players themselves, and will he be using the Manchester United? I can't remember what he said, what it was, something using something against Man United for Newcastle to go out and win the game tomorrow. And he says, no, we'll be concentrating on European football. That's what I'm drilling into the players tomorrow, and that's where they need to be. And I'll be mentioning that to the players. But we spoke about this before. The players should not need any motivation tomorrow to go out there and play Manchester United. It's at Old Trafford. It's a huge game, and we could end up finishing for the first time higher than Manchester United in the Premier League. There's no better incentives.
Yeah, I mean, we've done all the revenge stuff. I mean, we saw the Amazon documentary, where that was quite highly highlighted, wasn't it? The revenge of Man United for the league game last season after the Carabao Cup final defeat, and since we beat them again twice, I think that's that kind of revenge thing's done now. But I think we realise we're a better side than them. I think we've got no doubt danger of going there fearing them, because we've already beaten 3-0 this year, 1-0 at home, which was the most one-sided 1-0 you ever see, in my opinion. Could have been 4 or 5. If we'd have finished at our finishing boots on that day. So there's no fear at all. Lots of incentive. The European football is the biggest one. And finishing with Manchester United, I would say, for fans, is probably the biggest one as well, because, there's nothing better than having moral high ground over Man United fans. They couldn't stand that.
No, yeah, definitely. Stuart says, beat these tomorrow and Brighton take points off Chelsea. What a midweek treat that would be. I mean, I know we've got to keep one eye on the Chelsea game, Sam, but we've just got to take care of our own business, haven't we?
Absolutely. And I think this is where we need to, it's never a nice position when our fate is not in our hands. We're fortunate enough to have that luxury tomorrow, and this is what it comes down to. And I'm sure Eddie is doing all the preparation work under the sun for this. I don't think the occasion is going to get to us. Actually, I think it's more so going to be fuel for the fire to say, listen, we can beat you, but we're going to walk through you into Europe. We're not like, you are not an occasion anymore us getting Europe is the occasion. Please don't think for a second that it's beating Man United. It's actually coming above you and going for that place. So, yeah,
that's serious.
I'm so excited.
That's serious fighting talk.
I'm up for it. So up for it.
Do you know what, Billy? Lady Sam's reminding me of Keegan back in the day. I'd love it.
I love it.
I think we all would to kind of have some moral high ground over them and take the European place off them. Although, Man United, that's spawny, they'd probably get a spawn of an FA Cup final win and take the last place and put us back in the conference. That's how lucky they are. They're a very lucky club, aren't they? I mean, let's be honest. Third place in the last year in the Carabao Cup winners, they were shite. That was all down to fortune rather than good play.
Yeah,
they were a very lucky side.
City will blitz them in the final.
I'm hoping so. I hope they put about 12 past them.
Yeah. Dean says, so long as we don't come in with the half-assed attitude of late, we'll hammer them. They've got to. I've just seen a brilliant comment go through there saying that, we're talking about Nick Pope getting up to speed. Martin Dubravka is still trying to get up to speed. And look how long he's been in goal for. I completely agree with that. Guys, what do you think about the rumours going around that Steve Bruce is making a managerial return? Apparently, he wants the job at Birmingham back to his old team.
Oh, poor Birmingham.
Absolutely.
I think that's the one place that they'd welcome him back because he did a pretty good job there for Birmingham.
Yeah, I did say that when I did my earlier show because I think he obviously got Hull to a cup final, didn't he? And then, I think Birmingham was where he had the majority of his, dare I say it, success. But he did have a decent time there, so maybe they'll welcome him back there. Jim says Pope was awful in his last England game.
He was against the Germans.
Fubar Steve talking about the Fantasy League. Yeah, we'll touch on that at definitely the end of the season, see who won it. I mean, do you know what? The Fantasy League is funny, really, isn't it? Because we were all sort of so excited when the new season starts and we set up the Fantasy League and we say, we're all going to play it all the way through the season. We're not going to drop off. Some people, to be fair, they do stick at it the whole season. Me? No. I'm not very good at it for a start. In fact, I'm sick of seeing myself in like 300th place all the time.
You're lower than that, Paul. much lower than that.
That was a bit of a burn, Billy.
And you've got Jordan Pickford in your squad.
Oh, you shoulder than you ever expected.
We'll kind of scoot over that. No, we won't be looking at the Fantasy Football League at the end of the season.
No,
sorry. Not a chance. What Fantasy Football League you are? I have no clue what you're bloody talking about, mate. Let's scoot over that quickly. Right, let's discuss the lineup then and see what we're all going to go with. Ladies first, Sam. What would be your team tomorrow?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting one. I would love to see J7 start. Hall, Bruno, obviously. I would like to see Gordon. Barnes is. I don't know how you two are feeling about Barnes. I'm a little bit conflicted.
Billy's not happy with Harvey at the minute. No,
he has. He's had some moments of magic, and then seems to have really fallen off a cliff. I get that he's a tool in the box, but hell's bells, he's expensive if he's a tool in the box.
I think it's a bit rough calling him a tool, Sam. I mean, have a little bit of respect for the guy.
Right play for the right game is what I'm referring to.
He's not a spanner.
No,
he's not a spanner. I don't know. I think I'm probably going to see the same formation as we did. A 4-4-2 would probably be what I would like to see, but then it depends on who we have. It depends on options, doesn't it?
Dan says, I don't think Man United will sit back. They'll come at us very quickly, but that's how we'll win. When they press up really high, we ping a ball between their midfield and defenders and make runs in to score. I think we're very good at that. So I do actually agree with that, Dan. Yeah. Rafiad Benisian says 80% certain Torsen will come to us, in my honest opinion, unless one of the clubs in the Champions League next season come for him. Well, I think if they were going to make a move for him, they would have already because, his contract runs out. So I think they would have been in touch with him. Kendo says, would you prefer Karius over Dubes? 100%. I think Karius honestly, I genuinely believe that Karius has not had an opportunity under Eddie Howe. He's played him when he's had to, but I think he's a very, very good goalkeeper. And I've said that ever since he signed for the club. I don't listen to all this garbage. Oh, look what happened to him in the European Champions League final. He was sudden concussed. You know what I mean? You look at the challenge he took from bloody, what's his name, Ramos, at the very start. He got an elbow on the side of the head, man. But then again, that was a while ago. Karius isn't going to play tomorrow. Billy, what's your side?
Well, if Wilson's fit, I'd play Pope in goal, Livramento, Kraft, Byrne, Hall, Bruno, Longstaff. I'd have Gordon on the right and Joe Linton on the left. And I'd play Wilson and Isak up front.
So you're going with the 4-4-2?
Mm-hmm. Similar sort of style to what we played against Burnley, with one of the fullbacks dropping in whenever the ball's near the side of the pitch.
So even though you're probably 90% sure that Wilson's not going to play, you still picked him?
Come on. If he's fit, he'll be in. For me.
Okay.
If he's not fit, then it'll be the 4-3-3. It'll be Longstaff, Bruno, Joe Linton, Gordon, Isak, and probably Murphy. Maybe Almon.
Okay. Well, I'm going Popey in goal. Livramento right back, Kraft and Byrne centre backs. Trippier, I think, will play a left back tomorrow. Midfield of Bruno, Longstaff, and Joe Linton, and a front three of Gordon, Isak, and Harvey Barnes. But that side would excite me, actually. But I really don't want Lewis Hall to miss out. I don't. But I just have a feeling, when you get that feeling that Eddie's going to, pull something out of the hat that we all weren't expecting. And I think that's going to be the one. I hope not, though, because I think, last time Lewis Hall played for Newcastle United at Old Trafford, he had a wonderful game and scored a goal, of course. So
in the last 4 or 5 games he's played, he's had wonderful games.
Exactly, yeah. He doesn't deserve to be dropped.
I'm not one to play players out of position. And although they can both play at left back, Lewis Hall's better than both of them because he's actually a left back.
Yeah, exactly. Right, let's go for score predictions. Get your score predictions in the chat, guys. And let's see what you guys are feeling ahead of the game. Billy, we'll start with you first on the scores.
All things being equal, Newcastle United 3, Manchester United 1.
And your scorers?
Gordon will definitely score 1. I'm going to say Isak, obviously, because he always scores. And I will say Dan Burn from a corner.
Ooh, Dan Burn with a power header. Sam?
I am going 2-0. Isak and J7. Just got a feeling.
It'd be nice to see Big Joe get a goal. That's a certainty.
I got a feeling.
Woohoo! William Kane says everyone is super confident, but I just don't know why. Does anyone remember how shit we've been away from home? The last 2 predictions I've made have been wrong, mind you. How are the lads? Well, we weren't shit at Burnley, were we? We absolutely drubbed them. So
it's just Man United shit, really. Basically, it's all on the fact that Man United are crap.
Yeah. I'm just looking through the scores, and there's not one person predicting us to get beat here. So I like what I'm seeing in the chat. Stuart says Big Joe with a goal to fire us into Europe. You love to see it. Love it.
Yes.
Love it.
Come on.
I'm going 4-0 Newcastle. Why the hell not? Why the hell not? I think this is the perfect time to play Manchester United. When we've got our players coming back, they're like little babies, just ready to be, I was going to say smacked there, but that would be totally wrong thing to say. I think we are going to kick their asses tomorrow, well and truly. So I think it's a perfect time to play them. And this all depends if we've got our heads in the right place, which you would hope. that, as we've already said, that they don't need any motivation for that at all. They will go out and blitz the bastards, as far as I'm concerned. That's what it's all about for me. Now, the viewers' poll. Interesting. How do you see the game going? 72% think we will win the game. 22% think we will draw. And 6% believe we will lose the game.
Hi, Martin and family.
The damn Dubravkas are spoiling the poll every freaking night. God damn it. God damn it. Niall says I'm on the smelling salts again. No, I just generally think this is the perfect time to play them. Look, if we're being realistic, I don't care what the result is as long as we beat them, right? I couldn't give a toss as long as we go out there and beat them. So I really don't care. But I just think it's the perfect opportunity to go and slam them at Old Trafford. You know, just an Undertaker power slam right into the middle of the centre circle, and then Newcastle United, suddenly there's a lightning bolt and two golden camels appear and lead us off the pitch in triumph. And then as soon as we've gone off the pitch and on the bus home, Old Trafford crumbles down to mere dust. I don't know where I'm going with this, but you can see what I mean. I'm confident of a win, guys.
I'm enjoying that.
It generally gets a Stavely in a black and white bra with you, didn't it? It didn't have
No, Billy. No, I've only mentioned Amanda Stavely waving a black and white bra before the takeover. That was what I said. That I long for the day to see a takeover when Amanda first was rumoured, and I said, until she's standing waving a black and white bra on the centre circle, I will not believe any of the takeover rumours. That is what I said. It wasn't.
And now you're incredibly respectful, Paul. Yes.
I am always respectful of everything, right? Mm-hmm. Listen, I am very opinionated, but you have to be opinionated to do this kind of job, do you not?
And then 100%.
So, listen, I'm too long in the teeth now to give a shit that people come at me with, so I don't care anymore. Anyway, there you go. That is it for the preview show. Don't forget, we will be back. Are you joining us before the game tomorrow, Sam?
Oh yeah, I might be a bit tanked up, but yes.
Oh, well, that makes a change, doesn't it? How come we always attract the alcoholics on this show? I do not understand that. Where we
I am very balanced.
People in from.
I'm on a soft drink this evening.
Yeah, because you're still probably hungover from your Canadian trip with all that free booze and stuff you've been plunking down your neck. But there you go. Hopefully, Granny will be busy tomorrow night. See where she goes should we score, but we will see. But we will be on air from 7:30 tomorrow. Obviously, half an hour build up to the game, including team news, etc. And then me and Billy from 8 o'clock with commentary. Sam may join us at halftime and full time for analysis if she still can see straight. But we'll see. It will be a great night anyway. Matchday Live always is. Thank you very much for your memberships and your super chats tonight. Thank you, mods. Thank you to Billy and Sam. And usual thank you to you guys out there for making this show what it is. You are absolute legends, and we appreciate every single one of you. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up before you leave. And of course, if you like what you've seen, do subscribe. Free to do so. And we will see you all tomorrow. But at the moment, enjoy the rest of your evening and see you later. Good night.
Man United, a good side. How the heck is like? Are we the lads and lasses?
Come back and check on some green.